In my previous video, I discussed the actual reasons why mold forms in your microgreens, but I never really talked about any of the solutions. By the end of this video, you're gonna know my exact methods I use here in my farm to prevent mold from ever forming in the first place. For the best microgreens content on the internet, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring the bell. That way you get notified when I post a new video every Tuesday at 2 p.m. I've been growing microgreens commercially for years, and I've dealt with my fair share of mold, especially in the beginning when I first started. I lost plenty of trays due to damping off, mold, and fungus problems, but I've dialed in my business so that way I never have to deal with these mold problems anymore. I don't sanitize my microgreen seeds, and mold never really forms in the first place, which is obviously the ideal scenario. So I'm excited to share with you right now in this video how to prevent mold from ever forming in your microgreen trays. That way you never have to worry about this again. There's actually no way to eliminate mold spores because they're floating in the air around us and we're actually breathing them in every single day. Mold only causes problems when it replicates and is allowed to thrive. So the idea here is to limit and control the environmental factors that would cause the mold from forming in the first place. The first step in preventing mold growth is keeping your equipment clean. Always sanitize your trays after each use and sanitize your equipment on some sort of schedule to prevent the buildup of mold growth. Also, when deciding where to set up your grow room in the first place, consider the past conditions of that space. If the space isn't clean or already has an excess buildup of mold spores, chances are this will cause problems. And if the space is naturally hot, humid, and lacking fresh air, you might not want to grow there. Controlling your environment is crucial when growing high-quality greens and preventing mold growth. Use a dehumidifier to keep the humidity down, preferably between 50 and 60%, and make sure that you have proper heating and air conditioning. That way you can control the temperature. I never let my farm get above 76 degrees Fahrenheit. The most important environmental factor, in my opinion, is airflow. Even if your temperature or humidity gets a little too high, airflow will keep those spores moving so they can't settle and proliferate. Keeping the air moving in your farm, whether you have big fans that move it through the whole farm or if you have small fans that you have on your microgreens racks, this will be a huge help in preventing mold growth. Another way to encourage airflow without fans is to use shallow microgreens trays instead of the deep ones. This is going to put the base of the plants up higher, closer to the top of the tray, which is going to encourage airflow across the base of the plants, which is where the microgreens mold problems typically arise. Take a second right now to comment below and let me know what you've done specifically to reduce mold growth in your microgreens trays and in your grow room. Your process of growing microgreens is also very important. Dialing in your watering is probably the most important skill and process to develop when growing microgreens because overwatering is going to lead to excess moisture, which causes mold and damping off. I think that overwatering is probably one of the biggest and most common problems that new microgreens growers face when it comes to mold. Dialing in seed density also plays a very important role here because too high of a seed density is going to trap moisture beneath the canopy in the microclimate of your microgreens tray, and it's also going to prevent airflow. Make sure to experiment with your seed densities so that way you can find the ideal amount of seeds to use for your setup. Also, if your seeds don't germinate properly, this is going to cause problems because the purpose of mold is to break down dead plant matter. Make sure to use high quality seeds meant for growing microgreens that have high germination rates, and also make sure to have proper germination procedures in place. Lastly, let me mention a specific tip that actually solved my problem with mold in my wheatgrass. All right, so seeds generate heat as they grow. So even though the temperature might be around 70 degrees in your grow room, the plants and the seeds could be reaching temperatures in the 80s. This, along with the necessity for moisture during germination, can definitely cause mold problems. So my advice here is to get your trays out of germination as soon as possible. The second I know that my seeds are rooted into my growing medium, I remove them from germination and put them out here under lights. This way, they're not in that germination phase where there's high humidity, high heat, and no airflow. Now you have specific tactics you can use to prevent mold from forming in your microgreens, but what if you have other questions? Join my microgreen support group on Facebook. That way you can get the help you need from myself and other growers. If you want to know how to remedy mold if it does appear, click this video, or click this video if you want to know what it's really like to run a profitable microgreens business. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share this with your friends. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.